While this season's politics and headlines may lead to heated exchanges over the Thanksgiving table, we thought we'd ask Paul Solman to address a different controversy and serve up something a bit different.
Okay, so there isn't pumpkin spice on that, is
Oh,
there?
there is. So
A Thanksgiving feast. Hold the turkey, stuffing, green beans, sweet potato casserole, a menu of just pumpkin spice, popcorn, pumpkin spice apple cider, and pie, of course.
This is good.
Sampling the spread at Baltimore Spice Haven McCormick and Company on the 90th anniversary of pumpkin pie spice.
So you have that sweetness coming from the cinnamon, you have that peppery kick from the ginger, you have the nutmeg that brings its nuttiness, and then you have allspice that has a little bit of everything, and you also get the entire house smell like holiday.
McCormick chef Hadar Cohen Aviram says the blend was designed to make pies easier to cook.
This is about 2 teaspoons total.
But nowadays, just churn the spice with butter and smear it on anything. Crostini say.
I'm going to put a slice of green apple. You can use any apple you want. 1 piece of prosciutto, and finish it with some candied walnuts, and that's it.
Or infuse a pumpkin cheesecake.
Another way to maybe zhuzh things up a little bit, change things out, maybe try something new.
Something new, but relying on something old. Pumpkin spice's nostalgic appeal. At a moment when nostalgia for America's past seems especially strong.
Aroma is really much related to our memories. Maybe it brings back that nostalgia and that warm, fuzzy feeling of holiday.
Maybe even nostalgia for a time that's become myth, since, as you probably know, whatever mutual Thanksgiving there was at the iconic 1621 meal didn't exactly last. No pie there either, but
the Pilgrims were eating pumpkin from the get-go. That was what sustained them over those first few years, and those winters especially, when they didn't really have much of anything else. They were eating just boiled pumpkin.
We met Maryland food historian Joyce White at the Hammond Harwood House in Annapolis.
This kitchen dates to 1774. Things like spices and sugar were still kept under lock and key by the mistress of the household, and every morning she would sort of dole out what was needed for the day's recipes.
And what about pumpkin pies?
They were what Marylanders at that time were calling Yankee food. So it was not a popular dish. It was advertised as animal fodder.
So there was a north-south divide with regard to pumpkin pie?
Absolutely. It wasn't until after Abraham Lincoln read his Thanksgiving proclamation after the Battle of Gettysburg in the fall of 1863 that Thanksgiving becomes a national holiday. It wasn't until much later in the 19th century, well after the Civil War, that each region of the South adopts those Yankee traditions eventually.
Because industrialization began to build a national market, a national economy.
Your children are now going out to factories to work. They're not staying on the farm.
And thus the spread of a new national holiday.
Having this long weekend was a way for them to essentially come home. And so the warm spices, conjure up this image of the warm hearth and home.
So is that why, or part of the reason why pumpkin spice is so popular?
I think the allure of that nostalgic past that pumpkin pie spice conveys through Thanksgiving and through those dishes that we associate with that nostalgic past is certainly there in America today.
Capitalizing on that nostalgic flavor, Starbucks, which poured its first pumpkin spice latte, or PSL, 20 years ago. And hundreds of millions of PSLs later, the drink's now a seasonal essential at caffeine haunts like Black Acres Roastery in Baltimore's historic Lexington Market, less than a mile from where McCormick first concocted pumpkin pie spice. Owner Travis Bell's twist on the PSL is basic and bougie, meaning
the basics of the Uggs and the flannel shirts, but the bougie of the upscale luxury beverage that you'd want to get at maybe another cafe that I won't name.
Oh, bougie as in bourgeois?
Yes.
Oh, I'm bourgeois, for sure. Oh, that kind of does taste like pumpkin pie.
So we use fresh made puree, pumpkin, and spices. We steep that all together, add some sweetness to it, and that's our house-made syrup.
Bell named Black Acres Roastery after the Civil War promise of a mule and 40 acres of hearth and home for the formerly enslaved.
And seeing what the history of that was in the plots of land in the South, black, green, yellow acres is what they were called, and so black acres just kind of stuck out to me, and so that's what I named it.
But the formerly enslaved did not get their 40 acres and a mule.
Correct.
You're not terribly nostalgic for the America that was.
No. I like the progression that we're making as a country, yes.
So for Bell, his cafe, and even a Basic and Bougie, are ways to look ahead.
People are interested in what was and what could be, and we try to bring what that drink is to the modern age. Hopefully building new memories for the people that are available now. So
I'm going to keep eating.
Please.
Building new memories with a taste of what is comforting about the past, dessert at the Thanksgiving table. For the PBS News Hour, Paul Solman, staging in Baltimore, Maryland.
Apple cider.